Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Star Wars: The Force of Evil, New Powerpuff Girls, and Samurai Jack, among others. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
And Sam Quattro.
Yo.
Today, Delaney, Sam, and I will be having a Steven Universe roundtable discussing the topic of building the rebellion. I'll explain what that means in a second, but we are potentially in once again in the Steven Universe off-season, although it is really not clear if that is the case. Regardless, we're recording this at 4 o'clock on Friday the 17th. We're assuming there's no episode in 2 hours, but there have been stranger things, so.
Who knows?
Yeah. But anyway, no episode this week, but who knows about next week. Originally, Line 4 was slated for next week. We now have the internal schedule going up to that far, and it is not on there. So we'll see. Right now, there's nothing scheduled, but we'll be having weekly Steven Universe podcasts, hopefully, and regardless. And you can check out all of our content at overlyanimated.com. Or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast. You can find the iTunes link at overlyanimated.com/iTunes, where we appreciate your star ratings and reviews. So yeah, we're just going to be discussing this very specific topic. If there's been any news since Friday at 4, then we are not aware of it. We haven't had a feedback on the last episode. That still might happen. More on that at the end. So,
didn't you hear, Dylan? Rebecca Sugar died.
Oh wow, that would
just now, 4:12 p.m.
Wow.
But we can't cover it.
Yeah, no, we can't cover it. We're still talking
that got
about
dark real quick.
We're still talking about this concept. Yeah.
Like, we just turned it up to 15.
Look, this is potentially a dark topic. We're discussing like potential war here, so I think we're setting the tone. Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So, okay, so here's the topic. So we've kind of twice in the past 2 months we've been like, oh, this is like an interesting concept. So this isn't a surprise if you listen to our discussions regularly, but we're talking about the potential of okay, I have it written down. I'm just going to read this. So, rather than the Crystal Gems continuing as a ragtag small group that rebels against Homeworld and just stays on Earth and kind of just doesn't do anything, going forward, they start to build a sizable coalition of allies united against the Diamond Authority in order to enact change on Homeworld. So I want to preface this by saying that this is not like something that we think is definitely going to happen. This is just like an interesting possibility given a lot of stuff that's happened recently on the show. Like multiple times in the past few episodes, we've been like, is this where the show is going? And I think there's not any indication that we're going towards some sort of larger like war rebellion plot arc, but I do think it's kind of interesting that we're building a coalition, an anti-diamond coalition here, or potentially could be. I think this first came up during the the week of the zoo episodes, where we discovered like that all quartzes are from Earth, and that there's just all these jaspers that are all these also a jasper, but all these amethysts sitting there at the zoo that are potentially friendly to the crystal gems, and there's also just a bunch of rose quartzes. Were they bubbled? I'm trying to remember. I assume they were. Yeah. Bubbled rose quartzes. So, me, Delaney, and Sam at the time were like, this is interesting. And like we had like allies helping them out in all those amethysts. And even though they're still in the zoo, like, maybe they're going to join the crystal gems at some point. I think that's kind of interesting. I think the best proof is just the fact that we've expanded the crystal gems. Peridot and Lapis have joined. We teased it again last week with Ruby. Even though that didn't pan out, it still is Ruby. It still is.
Yeah, I was about to say I think Ruby's already part of it. We gotta be specific there.
I think we need our Ruby to have a name. I think that'd make more sense.
I don't know.
She's just Ruby.
It's like, are all Pikachus like named Pikachu, or is it just Ash's Pikachu that's named Pikachu?
Well, it's like in the games, you can nickname it, but it just comes out of the box as Pikachu.
Okay, yeah, I think that our gems Pokemon.
No,
but they're bubbled. We've discussed this before. Bubbled equals Pokeball, so yeah.
They're basically Pokemon.
I think they're just Pokemon. Yeah,
I disagree.
Can you fusion equals evolution? Yeah. Okay. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's
We'll
our
table
next
that
roundtable.
discussion for another
That's
time.
our next roundtable.
Yeah, Pokemon AU is another roundtable topic.
Pokemon AU. So, we've expanded the crystal gems. We teased it again last week. Even though it didn't pan out, you could still see all the rubies joining at some point. Although the nicest one turned out not to like them, so that probably not happening. But
that was so good.
Yeah. What was you saw it, Delaney, right?
Yes, I'm completely caught up on Steven.
Okay, what was your reaction in the last episode?
That was hilarious. I mean, I was a little like, oh man, but then at the same time, it was like hilarious. And obviously, they they do it all the time. They have to they do lampshade this constantly, but like to actually have an episode lampshading like all these like gyms joining was really good.
Yeah, it was the making fun of their own. We should join the crystal gems. Were you team surprised or team not surprised by the heel turn of Navy?
I mean, I might have been. I might have been team surprised. I don't really remember. Like, I don't think I cared that much. I was just like, that's really like I saw it coming. I think like right before, and she's like, "Can you go press that button?" I was like, "Nope." Over.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna count that for team surprise though. I don't think that counts if you saw like a second before. That'll be more discussion for the feedback show.
Okay, to be fair, it wasn't a second before. They like drug that sequence out because he was like, "I'm going to go this good," and I was like, "Yeah, no, this isn't ending well."
Okay, but yeah, so that we like it's to a point where we're parodying this concept of we're expanding the crystal gems. So they Paradigm Lapis, and then everything with the zoo, all the potential allies at the zoo. I feel like that's when it's like, oh, is this a thing? Are we really building a coalition against the crystal gems? It's like even if it's not. Even if I'm more interested in the fact of in the concept of like building a coalition rather than like going to Homeworld and like overthrowing the diamonds. Like I feel like that's like 1B. I'm most interested in like, is 1A a thing here? Are we building like a giant coalition, or are we going to still stay focused on, obviously our main characters are our main characters, but are we going to stay at about the same size of the crystal gems, or are we going to like are we building a larger coalition in the tens, or maybe even up to like hundreds type of thing? Yeah, more. Do we need a bigger barn? So what are your thoughts on that, Delaney?
Well, like, I mean, I've said a lot of time, like I've always like hoped or like predicted going to Homeworld and like kind of like a final showdown kind of thing, but kind of, I don't know, like, I sit and ponder things a lot about Steven Universe, and my opinions change, like, they kind of flip-flop a little bit, because, like, it's hard to imagine the show doing that, and, like, having, like, the coalition makes sense, but it's hard for me to imagine at this point it being really, like, large, because, like, I don't know, Steven Universe is such an odd show, in that we have this mythology that we're building, this kind of mythos of, like, the Gym War, and, you know, Rose's army, and, like, the rebellion, and then we have what's left of the crystal gems, and we have this big focus on, I'm a crystal gem, we even had like the stupid Rocknaldo episode, and like he was a crystal gem for like 5 minutes, but there's emphasis on like this identity of being a crystal gem and what being a crystal gem means, which we got into that too with Bismuth. But then at the same time, like, what do the crystal gems do? Like, it's only really when the crystal gems are provoked. Like, something happens to them, like, Greg gets taken, stuff like that. I mean, a lot of it's like Steven causes trouble and problems occur. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we added, like, say, 2 more, like, random gems we haven't met yet, perhaps. I mean, Lapis and Peridot make sense in that these are recurring gems that we see all the time, and the only other gyms that are at that point right now are the rubies, and we literally had this episode where like supposedly the nicest ruby was like no, and it's not like the yellow diamonds like really keen on joining the crystal gems. Oh, and the jaspers, I guess, granted that's a bit more like, and the amethyst is a little bit different because they're like so large and like there's just so many of them, and they're all like really goofy and they seem mildly useless, so I'm not really sure how that's gonna work out. I don't know, like, I like the idea of it, and it does seem like we're kind of, like, it's very much that, oh, everyone loves Steven, everyone wants to be with Steven, we're forming this group, but then can the coalition stand on that idea of, like, Lapis is only in for it because she loves Steven so much. She doesn't really, I mean, she does, like,
Peridot
she's
now
come
too.
to care for Earth. Yeah. But Peridot cares a little bit more about Earth. No, like, slightly more.
Yeah. Peridot cares. I think Lapis now cares about Peridot, probably, but...
I mean, Lapidot, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Here's the thought I had when you were talking about that. I think all of that's like a really, really good points. this is like an unrelated but related concept. Not this isn't this concept, but it's related, which is, have the crystal gems moved away from the original intent of the crystal gems? Like, what was Rose's original intent with the rebellion? Was it to just protect Earth and then stop, or was it to actually overthrow the Diamond Authority?
Well, I mean, that goes into Bismuth, because, like, Bismuth, that's kind of the central, issue in that episode, and with Bismuth's character was, we can shatter gems and we take it to Homeworld. That was kind of the idea of taking everything to Homeworld and liberating gems. And then Rose is like, no, we're not going to do that.
That's okay. That's true. I agree with that. Like, that episode definitely focused on the shattering, but it is possible that that argument extended to going to Homeworld but like, if Rose could do it peacefully, would she want to overthrow, like, I don't know if it's possible, but like, would she want to enact change on Homeworld? Like, is that, I don't know. Do we have maybe I'm not remembering, but like, has we ever heard like whether Rose wanted to change Homeworld or just protect Earth, regardless of the way that was done?
Well, it's just like, there's always this, I think the biggest thing, and it's always been the largest emphasis, it's Earth. Like, Rose loves Earth. And that's what we focus on. We have all these new gems join the crystal gems. It's like loving Earth, and like something Lapis really struggles with, because she really doesn't care. And she was also like trapped on Earth, and like, it's not fun. Peridot, he went from seeing, the Earth is like a source of resources to like an actual place, and like caring about it and caring about humans. And so I think it's kind of falling into that usual category of, we're having Earth be the center of this universe. And like, that's what we want, like, others to care about it.
Yep. I think like 100% of what we've heard about Rose's motivations is Earth-based. So I don't know if there's an answer to this question. What's your read on it, Sam? What do you think? Do you think Rose would even want to enact change on Homeworld, is she just Earth?
I think she's really only Earth, because Earth equals freedom.
Yeah.
It just so happens, she found meaning in, like, something she really enjoys on Earth, and, like, humanity and life, observing the change of the world, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, I just think anywhere that is not Homeworld probably would have begun. I mean, they could have, like, ended up on Pluto or, like, Jupiter or, like, somewhere else in the solar system, and, like, they probably would have been happy, I guess. At least to some extent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like, as far as like the crystal gems being like, I don't know, I guess solely for, the protection of Earth, I'm not so sure. I think in the beginning, especially around the time of the like initial rebellion, I mean, their numbers were probably like huge. I mean, what do you call it? The cluster, like, that's made up of all of the shattered gems from the war, and like that includes, former crystal gems, and it's been, stated time and time again, those gem shards are, remains of old crystal gems, and there were probably hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of them. And I guess like their initial goal was to live, peacefully anywhere on Earth, or maybe they would have like gone somewhere else, but at that time and place, they had that showdown on Earth because it was happening. They were there. If they would have gone somewhere else, maybe it wouldn't have happened. Maybe it would have happened. Who knows?
Yeah, I good points. I definitely think that was the perception of that it's not so important that it's Earth. It's like it's away from Homeworld, until we've kind of gotten this new information that Rose is from Earth, that Rose was made on Earth. And that I haven't really recalculated my perceptions of this, I think, since then. So I think it's hard to get into that. It's like, is Earth special to Rose because this is where she's from, or is she just about life, or is it a combination, or is it just about not being on Homeworld? Was Rose ever on Homeworld? Like, there's a lot of unknowns here. We can only get far down this rabbit hole. I definitely think the show has presented Rose's motivations mainly being Earth-based, although I do think there's the possibility that she ultimately would have enacted Homeworld change. Okay, so let's get back to the viability of just this building a rebellion thing. So Delaney seems skeptical, right? Because I think your read on it was that's not what the show is about right now. Basically, is a summary.
It is something that I'm like interested in. I don't want like it's not. I'm not knocking the idea because I don't like it. I've always been like, let's go to Homeworld and like blow stuff up.
Yeah, this question is not do we want to see this happen? It's like how realistic is that? And we can get into the want next. But so what do you agree or disagree with that, Sam? Do you think this is like a realistic potential direction for the show? This building a rebellion thing.
I mean, I can't see any way that it isn't, because we're like bringing in a lot of characters all the time, and like we're sort of building them up in a way that I think of shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where that we had like a billion minor characters all the time, and look what happened there. So I think it's definitely plausible, and I can't really see narratively where they would be going with introducing all the amethysts and like just blue diamonds, hesitance, and like all those rose quartzes if we're not going to do anything with them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest evidence. That's like the evidence, is that the fact that we're introducing all these people. And we'll run through all the potential allies, but so Sam's read is less, I think. So you're saying maybe because they must be doing all these things for a reason.
Yeah, at least that's the hope, right?
Yeah, and I think like both of these views are right. Like my read on this is, for sure, this is not what the show is about right now, and it's not even close to what the show is about right now. But the question is, could we get to a point where it is? And I want to briefly go back to something Justin and Michelle discussed on one of their recent roundtables, which is like how many episodes of the show are left. And a long time ago, Rebecca Sugar said 5 seasons. I believe this was pre-Cartoon Network changing the outlook of a season model. So season 1 was season 1, but then season 2 and 3 have been 26 episodes instead of the normal 52 episodes. So I'm not saying I'm right about this, but I'm pretty logically seasons 2 and 3 for Rebecca Sugar's original 5 seasons model are season 2, and then season 4 is the first half of season 3. So we're approaching the end of the first half of season 3 basically on this model. But my point is, there's still we are at about the midway point. We are a little past the midway point, if that is true, what I'm saying. So my point is that there's a lot of time for us to change directions. Like, I don't think this show is ending next year. I think that
it's hard to imagine how it would end. Like, what kind of ending would we even have if it ended sooner than you think?
Yeah, I mean, the only way that if the show is going to end, like if it was going to do where it's episode 21 of season 4, if there's like 5 more episodes here, and then if we have 31 more episodes, if it was just 5 seasons of Cartoon Network's definition of a season, then like we wouldn't build to anything. It would just kind of putter out. Which is what the show is kind of doing right now. I mean, we're not really doing anything specific. So you have to imagine they have some sort of specific ending in mind. And so we're going to change directions somehow. I'm saying there's enough time to change directions in a major way, but I'm skeptical because this is such a major change for the show. I don't like, are we really going to go down the rabbit hole of opposing the diamonds? I think a year ago, I definitely thought yes. But I've kind of been jaded by the show not doing anything for a year. So that's not fair, a year. We had a lot of stuff at the end of last summer of Steven. But we're still in a similar place to where we were a year ago. So I guess I'm a little bit jaded by the direction of the show, and I'm skeptical that we're going to make major advancements. Though I'm more towards the we're never going to Homeworld than we are going to Homeworld. I think any sort of diamond fight would have to be on Earth right now.
That's what I would be thinking. This kind of like final showdown on Earth, which would make the most sense from what we've been given. That, like, just ultimately protecting the Earth, especially since like Yellow Diamond's like the cluster, and it's like I thought we dealt with the cluster, but maybe not. Since they have like this doomsday plot for the Earth, like that's something we have to deal with.
Why can't we just go to Mars? Like, why we gotta go to Earth? I mean, what are we gonna do with all the people?
Yeah,
just gonna like evacuate everybody? Like, what's gonna happen?
I guess
people gonna die?
Not on the show, probably not. But I mean, I think that's the stakes, I guess. But we really could go to Mars or something. Like that shouldn't be so unrealistic. But Yeah, I
didn't think we'd go to space at all, and I was shocked we went to the zoo. So
yeah, I think that was like so shocking at the time because we'd just been, it's like, oh my God, we finally went somewhere. But now it's like, oh wow, that's still completely irrelevant to the current show.
yeah, basically.
So I'm kind of back on the, okay, we still, like, that wasn't even that important. But, here's my initial thought on this is if the final showdown is on Earth, like, why would all the diamonds come to Earth? I don't think that makes any sense unless a diamond defects. Which is something that we're going to discuss. So let's get into this.
Could White Diamond even fit on Earth? I feel like she might be like really
why,
big.
Why is White Diamond
like
bigger than the
big.
other ones? Yeah, why?
Because
she's a supreme diamond.
Is she? I don't like.
Maybe we don't know.
She could be. Yeah.
Maybe
She's
she's
literally
like,
never talked about her. That's another thing. Where is White Diamond?
Yeah. Okay,
she's like Galaxis, and she's like huge.
Yes.
Yeah. So my theory is that a diamond defects and the other diamonds are like, we need to retrieve her, and then it's the final showdown. I think that makes sense. Let's go over potential allies. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say a potential ally. We'll go Delaney, then Sam, then me. Yes or no, and you can elaborate or not elaborate on the yes or no. Okay? So potential allies for the crystal gems, not necessarily joining the crystal gems, but allies against the diamonds. So let's start with, I think, an easy one. The amethysts in the zoo. Delaney.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes, in that, like, there's just so many of them and they're really dumb, and, like, they'd be really useful in a sort of battle situation or, like, a distraction.
Yeah.
But I don't consider them allies in, like, the ally sort that, like, Peridot or Lapis. Granted,
It's
they're,
like-
like, actually crystal gems. But...
It's like they're too dumb to be like, is what you're
I
saying.
don't call them
And there's
dumb.
too many of them. Like, there's too many of them
Yeah,
to, like...
I'm just saying people allied with the crystal gems. I'm not saying they have to join the
Yes.
crystal gems. So yes.
Yeah, it's more of the, like, you know, it's like they're like fun, and they're like, you throw them in to cause chaos.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Yeah. Sam, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
This is the most obvious one. Yes, for sure. But yeah, I agree with Delaney. They're not joining the crystal gems. Like, we're not gonna like have the opening credits and like go through 25 different amethysts.
That'd be so funny.
Yeah. Why aren't Peridot why haven't we changed the credits? Why aren't Peridot and Lapis in the credits? Like, come on.
They can't fit their names.
I guess in the theme song.
Throw the song
This
on.
world, believe in Garnet, Amethyst, Slapdot, Peridot, and Pearl.
And
Steven.
Pearl's last, yeah, I agree. The other rose quartzes in the zoo, Delaney.
No.
No, why not?
They're just, like, I don't know, like, I've seen a lot of, like, theories on Tumblr about the zoo, and though I always appreciate, like, fan theories, and fanon is always fun, but to me, like, I feel like this fandom has put a lot of emphasis on the zoo, and, like, the idea of, like, I agree, it's significant that all these other rose quartzes are, like, bubbled on the zoo, but the likelihood of seeing more of them, one, I think that would fundamentally, like, kind of ruin the show, because, like, we have this big, mythical mystery figure in Rose, even though we've, like, spent some time demystifying her. I think that would, like, kind of ruin the show if we did that. So I don't anticipate seeing more rose quartzes.
Yeah, it's a good point. Seeing other roses might take away from our perception of Rose. What do you think, Sam? Yes or no?
I can definitely see it happening. I mean, especially if, like, Blue Diamond joins the mix and she just, like, steals either, like, maybe 1, 2, or, like, all of them. And they just, like,
Just, like,
happen
puts
to
them in
be
her
there.
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can definitely see a scenario when, like, it becomes, like, a big, like, character moment for Steven. And, like, you know, he has to come to grips with, this is, like, me/my mom, but it actually isn't, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I can definitely see at least one coming into the fray.
At least one. Yeah, conceptually, very much yes, is my answer to this. I agree, it's hard to envision. It's, like, very hard to envision this, like, on our TV screens, a lot of rose quartzes. But just, like, logically, they're a very easy ally to... It might only take one episode to have them join the cause. So I think they definitely are in a position to, like, you just got to unbubble them. All you got to do is trick, like, the Holly. So that seems
That's not
fun.
hard.
That seems fun.
No,
yeah.
we can just make Holly join.
Right.
too.
So okay, Holly's not on my list, but Holly, yes or no? Yes. No.
If Blue Diamond joins, I'm sure Holly will.
Completely dependent on Blue Diamond. I agree. And I don't have the pearls on the list, but I think they're dependent on their diamonds. But we'll run through the diamonds.
Yeah.
So,
Blue Pearl will definitely. Yellow Pearl probably not.
Okay. Before that, though, our Jasper. That's a tough one. Our Jasper is bubbled. Will our Jasper be part of the cause, Delaney?
No, they've just there's just no. Even though the people in the fandom are going to scream when I say this, I'll hear their shouts in the distance. Jasper is irredeemable at this point. You can't. There's nothing.
I didn't know you're on my side on this. Okay, nice.
I don't like Jasper. I'm not.
Yeah.
And,
Michelle is screaming at you from the distance.
It's fine. There is honestly, after the scene with Jasper and Lapis on the ship, Jasper has reached the point of no return. There is no place for Jasper. She is not an ally. She has never been an ally. She will never be an ally.
Yes.
She's just she's the hulking she just isn't she's never done anything that would it's not even Zuko did bad stuff, but Zuko had redeeming qualities, and he was lost.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of his redeeming qualities are related to Iroh, but
yeah, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole. But yeah, it's of the Zuko versus.
But Jasper doesn't have any of that. There is no route for her to become a crystal gem or to become an ally that would make sense.
Despite how many fans she has, she's not really shown anything redeeming on the show. I agree. Sam, yes or no? Jasper is an ally.
I can see a scenario where Jasper's corrupted, number one, so who knows if she'll ever actually come back. But I can see a scenario where Jasper joins, but then turns to the other side, and it's a face heel turn.
Yeah.
Or Jasper gets shattered at some point, a single tear happens for all the redeemableness or whatever. I can definitely see Jasper in some capacity making it into the fray, but not being fully redeemed.
Yeah, so I think that Jasper is not redeemable. I'm very frustrated by fandom reactions to Jasper. We don't need to get into that. But I actually think Jasper is one of the more likely allies regardless. I think it's not hard to somehow get past the corruption, unbubble Jasper, and then Jasper just does what Lapis says or something like that. Under the scenario where we're going crazy and building a coalition against Homeworld, I don't know if Jasper on the good side is that much of a stretch. That being said, no, not redeemable. But
we want her, we think of her. I mean, it makes sense in that she's one of the gems that we know well, and she knows the crystal gems well.
She's from Earth. All Quartzes are potential allies in this scenario.
Except she's been so she's so upset about the pink diamond shattering. So I feel like
there's a lot to get
past.
Pink
Diamond.
I think I'm underplaying it a little too
pink
much.
Diamond, so
right.
Well,
So
I agree with that.
Okay, let's get to the diamonds now.
You skipped the rubies.
Oh, okay. First, the rubies. I've also added to this list since then, but the rubies. Despite our recent setback, could they become potential coalition members, Delaney?
I mean, I feel in an accidental way, they mess stuff up on accident. I don't know, especially since we literally did the make fun of, it's considering the parody episode, I don't think they will be allies. To me, one, that'd be really cheap if they did it, and I'd be really irritated about it. And, they're in space, where we can go collect them with a net. I don't know how that's going to happen.
They have a ship now.
That's probably what Navy's doing right now, just
which I feel that was a really good Navy impression. I feel they're going just to go straight back to their diamond. I don't think they're...
Yeah. Yes or no, Sam?
I say maybe. Okay, I really want Leggy to, come be with the crystal gems, just, prove him, Leggy's kind of dumb, and I love her, so whatever. But I think it could be, sort of a fumbling, our diamond didn't want us back, so now we're gonna team up with you guys.
That's fair.
Something like that, And, was it all of them or just Eyeball who was, were any of them, aligned with Pink Diamond at some point, or I'm just, forgetting? I don't know.
I don't remember.
But nonetheless, I think, it's definitely possible that, they're sort of rejected by Yellow Diamond or White Diamond or whatever other diamond who's the opposition here. And and have to like come fight with us, and they sort of realize how great Earth is or whatever, and blah 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 blah. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. This is hard to see considering we literally just had an episode that parodied this very concept. But they're gems we know very well, and they're gems that are sympathetic to us. So I think that this is an easy yes. Like if anyone is joining this coalition, like they're definitely some of the more, it's like Jasper. It's like Jasper is a prominent figure to us. If this coalition is going to be large, like who else is this going to consist of? Like I think the Rubies would definitely be here. So it's not that's not necessarily a satisfying answer, but it's more of just like just a realism given the limitations of the show, I guess. But okay, the more
they can play baseball.
I can play baseball. That was fun. Yeah. So let's get into the diamonds. I want to start with Blue Diamond because I think that's after the zoo, that's a hot topic. Like, is Blue Diamond potentially sympathetic, to the crystal gems, considering that she's sympathetic to Earth because of Pink Diamond? Is Blue Diamond a potential coalition member, Delaney?
I want to go with no. Like, I mean, Blue Diamond was like, she's definitely the most sympathetic out of all diamonds. Of course, unless Pink Diamond's lying, and then obviously Pink Diamond is more sympathetic. But, I don't know. It's just hard, especially like the whole like her interactions with Yellow Diamond, and like we had that very like stark reminder of like Blue Diamond is the diamond. Like after when she was talking to Yellow Diamond and like talking about the cluster for Earth, I just don't see her as an ally. Like it's just hard to imagine diamonds like allying with this, and like I just don't see it. It wouldn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, Sam.
I don't know. I want her to definitely.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure. I guess it really depends on if Lion is Pink Diamond, etc. I don't know. Yeah, I would really want her to, and like have her just turn her back on like the whole Diamond Authority thing. Bring up like the mantle of Pink Diamond's legacy and stuff.
Yeah, but
in reality, I like remember how close Blue and Yellow were, and like how they were singing, and like the little like handhold, I'm grieving too, blah blah blah. I'm like I don't know. I think definitely if she's not initially, she can be persuaded.
Yeah, there's only one scenario where Blue Diamond joins the coalition. It is the scenario where Pink Diamond joins the coalition. So the scenario where Pink Diamond was conspiring with Rose and is Lion, I think it's very easy to see how Blue Diamond would join her because she loves her. Like that's the easy sell. Blue and Pink are like a pair. They're either with us or Blue is not with us, I think.
And then they make like a nice lavender, and it's nice.
Yes, the ship. Yeah. Speaking of which, Pink Diamond, if not shattered. So first of all, she has to not be shattered. Chances that Pink Diamond is joining the coalition. Given that she's, we have a running theory that Pink Diamond is Lion is Pink Diamond in disguise, or some fragments of Pink Diamond. Delaney, are we going in this direction?
I would say yes. I don't know. To me, I don't see Pink Diamond as a member of the coalition so much as like it's literally through Pink Diamond that this happens. Like it's Pink Diamond being like, "No, go away. Earth's cool."
Pink Diamond's like the vehicle to all the courses, so she's in spirit is a member of the coalition.
Well, more in that like, I mean, I'm thinking more like if we have Pink Diamond and Pink Diamond returns like as Pink Diamond or whatever form she's in. That it's Pink Diamond's literally the one who's like, no, you can't come for Earth. Bye. I'll go with y'all if you like leave Earth alone or something.
Okay.
Like that kind of thing.
So she's not defecting. She's just saying, putting her foot down about Earth. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam.
What, Pink Diamond?
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Pink Diamond is the only reason it's going to happen.
I mean, yeah.
On the other hand, I feel like we're putting a lot of stock into Pink Diamond being Lion.
I mean, it's going to happen literally next episode, so,
Yeah, true, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, the most likely, I don't think that this whole thing is, I guess, likely to happen, but if it were, I think the most vivid scenario in my head is the scenario where Pink Diamond is aligned, Pink Diamond joins the coalition, brings Blue over, Blue and Pink being on Earth draws the other diamonds to Earth, and then they have a Blue and Pink and the Crystal Gems versus Yellow and White fight. Like, that's like the scenario to me, TM. So I can see it in that regard. But there's obviously a lot. That's obviously a very specific route to go. So there's a lot that could go wrong. Yellow Diamond. That's a tougher one. Yellow Diamond did display 1 single second of sympathy and tear too, and all
I don't even know if it was a whole second.
All the Tumblr posts were instantly like, "Oh my god, what a complicated character." So, does the 1 tear mean that she is sympathetic enough about Pink Diamond dying that there's a chance that she would rebel against? I guess the only one that's left would be White Diamond. Delaney.
No, Yellow Diamond is like so done with Earth. She is bitter about Earth. She wants Earth to go down in like a fiery blaze. So no.
Sam.
It's gonna depend on White Diamond, I think, because we don't know who White Diamond is, and we don't know if she's like,
maybe White Diamond's the devil, right? And then
White Diamond's mom,
like White
no,
Diamond, destroyer of worlds. We don't know, and if White Diamond is like that bad, Yellow Diamond might want to rebel against her. I don't know.
Yeah, Yellow Diamond is a definitive no for me, but I could under the scenario TM that I outlined, I do think that she is the one kind of a little bit in the middle of all the diamonds. Like, she's not gonna want to fight Blue Diamond. So.
Well, I feel like that's the thing. Like, I don't really think the diamonds want to fight each other.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what Pink is like? Blue and
yellow.
What,
the only thing that can cut a diamond. It's a diamond.
There's a diamond, yeah. I mean, right. Like, there's the hardness scale type thing. Yeah, the hard, yeah.
The Mohs hardness scale.
Yeah, there have been mythology clues that this could be a direction we're going in, I think. Last thing, Sam reminded me of this earlier, the cluster as a potential ally. I think, yes, but I don't know how.
The cluster is going to
it's too big.
Destroy Earth if it came out.
I guess if we cluster / a bunch of gem shards, if we can fragment the cluster or something.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to be. They don't want to be the bad guy, but they can't really help it.
Yeah.
If this is Danny Phantom, and we can just make them intangible and just whoosh them through the Earth. So. Yeah.
I mean, it's this is theoretically yes, but I don't know how it happens, right?
Practically, I don't know.
I also think that why did we have most of season 2 and which was very gem shard focused, unless that the cluster and the gem shards are going to come into play late game. So I don't know how it's going to happen, but I do think something's going to happen with them in this realm. Okay, so any random allies we didn't mention? Yeah. What do you think of
the boardwalk the boardwalkers?
The boardies? No.
The boardies. No?
Onion is White Diamond. Onion is joining White Diamond.
No, I think they could help out a little bit.
They'll help out a little bit.
Well, they try, yeah.
What do you think of my scenario, TM, Delaney, of the 2 versus 2 diamonds?
I mean, I can see it in that, the scenario sets itself up, but it's hard for me to imagine the diamonds fighting each other. To me, I would consider the diamonds, they're, they don't really care about their diamond, their gems, but they care about the other diamonds. And I don't think they'd want to fight.
Yeah. What do you think of it, Sam?
What, the diamond versus,
diamond versus diamond. Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
It's completely based on the zoo arc. That's all it's based on. Is this?
I had sort of another idea. So centipedal.
Okay, yeah, centipedal. Ones. Forgot about centipedal. Yeah, centipedal definitely a potential ally.
And all the other corrupted gems. If we can find a way to uncorrupt them.
Bismuth, potential ally. Yes.
Yes.
But
if we get Bismuth back.
Yeah, that's There's all the bubble gems, corrupted gems. Yeah, So very interesting. So let's end with three potential very significant hangups to this going in this direction, and we can briefly comment on each of them. So my first thought was I was thinking like I was trying to think of this being a realistic thing, and my next thought was like, what's the end game to this? Like, if we're overthrowing the crystal gems, like, what's Homeworld? Are the crystal gems just ruling Homeworld and Garnet's the queen of Homeworld now? Like, what's the end to the show if we overthrow the diamonds?
Well, I don't see Garnet. I mean, as much as I think Garnet is queen, I don't.
No Queen Garnet?
No, I mean, because that doesn't make any sense. That's like overthrowing for more rulers. Like, I think Pearl would set up like some sort of like ridiculous, like, like concept of democracy.
I guess we kind of answered this in that the final battle has to be on Earth, and then we don't really see the result on Homeworld.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, like, it's still, even though all the time I'm like, let's go to Homeworld and liberate the gems, I'm still like, I don't really know practically if that's what's going to happen, or even if that's what the crystal gems care about.
Yeah.
It'll be like the classic, we defeated the enemy, so now we're all just gonna live in harmony. It'll be like warm bodies with all the zombies and like the humans all living together, and it'll be nice. Except they're rocks, and like, I don't know. I feel like that could cause some problems, but it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah. Queen Garnet, Sam. Yes.
No.
Okay. Queen Pearl.
No.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be more of a democracy or like socialism.
Imagine if the show we got like our only glimpse of Homeworld like at the last like 2 minutes of the show, and we just saw like a bunch of Paradots running around and like like the
that's pretty good.
When we do go to finally see Homeworld, it's gonna be crazy. Okay. Another potential caveat, does turning the crystal gems into a Star Wars type rebellion take away from the intimacy and personal feel of the current makeup of the crystal gems? And I'm going to answer this as well as posing it yes. So it just changes the show so significantly. That's basically what I mean there.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, they still wouldn't be the crystal gems. Like, anyway, like, it'd be like they would just be leading this massive army if that's what we're going for. But the thing is, too, like, I wanted to bring this up a moment ago, is that we really haven't seen any of the crystal gems display really any sort of, like, empathy for, like, other gems. Like, it's always very much the, like, startled or threatened response. So it's just hard to imagine, like, them going for, like, oh, let's go free the other gems. Like, I don't think they care.
Yeah, I agree. Pearl and Garnet, I don't know how much they care. Yeah.
Well, Steven is their, like, morality pet.
But Steven does care, so...
Yeah, Steven does care.
Yeah.
And they will care because of Steven, but outside of that...
Yeah. Last thing from patron Alex, he says, how strong is Homeworld? Could they, like, survive a rebellion, or do they have some crazy technology to stop one? Which I think is a great point, like... Wouldn't any attack against Homeworld fail just because they have some giant laser beam that could just kill anyone who's approaching the planet? Like, the gems technology is crazy, so gem technology theoretically should thwart any sort of rebellion.
Aren't there, their resources are, like, depleting or whatever, right?
Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
When did they mention that? That was a while ago, right?
That was when Peridot, got the tablet and, like, she was metal bending.
That's a good point. So maybe they don't have the resources for it. What do you think, Delaney?
Well, there is the massive gem weapon. That's what they used in the war.
Oh, yeah, we also had, like, the singing diamonds
whatever
thing.
It is.
Yeah, that's the centipedal episode, so... that like cut down a lot of the crystal gems, yeah.
I mean, that's where they all got cut down, except for the ones Rose saved.
Yeah. So I guess the answer to this is that it has to not be on Homeworld. Like, again, on Earth is more realistic, and if there's diamonds on the rebellion side, then they would counteract diamond technology, I guess. They both have diamond technology. I just think the scenario TM, if you want to sort that, cite that, by the way, it's caps the scenario TM by Dylan.
Like all caps or just like caps?
No, just
T,
like capital
caps,
T,
like S.
capital S, yeah. I feel like that answers a lot of these questions. It's like the diamond technology would counteract the other diamond technology. If, like, the singing diamonds is like the ultimate weapon, so how does that, I don't know.
Maybe it's just White Diamond's singing voice. She's gonna be like voiced by Beyonce or something.
Oh
That
my
would be
God.
that would be the best get, right? Like have Beyonce.
That would be
as,
like you
a-
couldn't top that. Like it'd be over. Like
Yeah. I mean, our two diamonds so far are are kind of singers. Yeah, different forms, but
Well, they got like Patti LuPone and that
Yeah,
Irish.
yeah. an Irish singer. Like, different
Well, dude,
scales of singer.
But aside from the rebellion thing, would there be like really any reason for the gyms to have like weapons other than the weapon they produce themselves? Like Bismuth was just she just made buildings, and then would Homeworld even have weaponry on the planet?
That's a good point, right? Maybe Homeworld just isn't prepared for any sort of fight. It did seem like the Earth Rebellion was like the rebellion to them. Like we haven't really gotten a concept that that's a common thing.
And also, they left Earth alone. Like they're probably like, we don't care. Bye. Also, the gym weapon probably wiped out like Homeworld forces too. So I don't think like Homeworld really cares. Like, I mean, the way they make gyms anyway. It's like, oh, we can just we like lost one. Okay, if we spend like 10 minutes, we can make like 25 more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's hard to imagine them carrying.
But the resources, TM.
Well, that too. I mean, I feel that's the only risks really they'd be taking is like the resources. But the thing is too, it's like gyms don't like they had to be doing something on Homeworld. Like, why did they keep making gyms? The gyms don't eat. Like, they don't really have gyms don't consume resources. Creating gyms do. But what are they creating all these gyms for? Like, what are they doing on Homeworld? Why do we have to have all these gyms?
Domination.
Yeah.
Domination of the universe.
Are they a planet eater? Like, we had that thought, and then we just hadn't,
I don't understand.
That's what I stand by. That's what I thought. They were planet eating. Like, they were planet eating species.
Narratives that are like, oh, I want to take over the universe, and I want, like, all power. And, like, where are you going to go once you get everything? Like, you're just going to be an empty shell, and you already have everything that you wanted, and life's not going to have any meaning anymore. So
you'll just be looking for Voltron.
Yeah, see Voltron is what I was going to say to that. Voltron. Yeah, that's like, I think you're right, Sam. I think Zarkon's basically an empty shell right now.
Yes.
I guess. I don't know. I don't watch Voltron.
Yeah. This discussion has mostly just reminded me how many vague hanging threads we have.
All of them.
Yeah, like we really still don't know anything.
Tie them all together, make like a nice little bow for the.
That's the biggest thing that feels incongruous is like this like really definitive fanficky ending to the show is just something they've never done. They've never given us any sort of definitive answers on anything. So,
I don't know what the show's about. I don't even know how I would explain Steven Universe to other people. I'd just be like, it's really gay. Go watch it. I don't know.
We've talked a lot about this. Right now, there's really nothing hanging or any sort of definitive direction for the show. But we're definitely in like the first part of this season, quote unquote, season 3. So we're going to get to the plot probably next episode. So
are we though? Is it
the pink diamond reveal?
Yeah.
Lion tries to fit into a box for.
That's fine. I'd watch that.
How hype it's going to be if this is actually, if this is actually the Lion is Pink Diamond episode. It's gonna be pretty.
Dylan, you die. Your soul would leave your body.
I would just be like, call it on the podcast.
I can't believe that like we've gone into this. That this is like where we are and the state of the show. Like, unbelievable.
What is this? What is it?
that like I don't know that we have like conspiracy theory enough that like Lion is Pink Diamond and like it might actually be true.
Yeah, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, but it's definitely anything. Here's my argument to get people like, oh, that's ridiculous. Any big plot development that you could come up with, it sounds ridiculous. Like there's nothing that sounds.
Also, the show is ridiculous. Yeah. Like nothing is outlandish.
That's what I think. Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, I mean, like. Fry bits? Nobody serves fry bits. You throw those away.
That would not be where I would have went with the
you throw the fry bits away.
That's not the thing I would have gone to demonstrate the show's ridiculous mythology. Okay. Final thoughts wrapping up on our rebellion discussion, Delaney.
As much as I want us to go to space, it's seemingly less and less likely, even though the zoo gave me some flickering hope, but I have no idea where we're going. Like, I mean, I'm excited for I like Steven. I'm just excited to see Lion, but who knows?
Yeah, Sam.
I wish the show had more of a concrete direction.
Yes, I didn't know. I think this is a point we've been making. Like, definitely, that's my number one thing right now. Like, let's get a direction on the show.
Like, it's fine with like the other 11-minute shows because they're like more loosey goosey, I think. But this one, it's like, oh, we have this big overarching narrative, and like
they tease us. Like we have this really deep, interesting mythology, and then we have episodes where it's like, great, I like this episode, but then we have episodes like Onion Gang, and I'm like, what is this show about?
Like you can have filler, just like, where are we going?
Adventure Time doesn't have an overarching narrative, so it doesn't need a direction. Steven Universe weirdly has this narrative, but no direction right now. So it's in a very, very weird place. Yeah, so let us know your thoughts on this potential rebellion. Viable, potentialized, comments on any of this. Maybe we'll have a part 2 of this discussion if people are into it.
Are they gonna have like a dumb plot hole, like the hole in the Death Star, and they're gonna have to like come back like 40 years later about it,
and then make a movie explaining the plot hole? Yeah.
Or like the clips and like, oh, they don't kill the Fire Lord, spoilers and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
like I love how that's what you said spoilers about, but not about Rogue One.
I don't like. I
don't think that was spoilers.
I didn't even see Rogue One. Now I was like, oh, that was
just funny to be said. Like this is what you said spoilers about was a series that's been over for 10 years, and not the movie that came out last year.
I think we didn't mention it. I think Day of Black Sun is kind of like the model for this in Avatar.
Yeah,
like with a bunch of minor characters, you bring them all together, and then So let us know thoughts on this. Comments, YouTube comments, or wherever. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on iTunes. overlyanimated.com/iTunes. And please leave us star ratings and reviews. We really need.
I keep thinking that you mean like the show, and I'm like, why are we just specifically leaving ratings for that?
The first time you said
that, that's kind of confusing. That's what it's called, but I feel like I should come up with a different way to say it.
No, you said it on the Star podcast, and I was like, what?
Yeah, star ratings by Star Butterfly TM. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, really, we really need more traction on iTunes, so you could really use ratings and reviews. So also consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Phonician, aka Fusion. Thank you very much, Phonician, for your continued support. I ran this outline by the patrons in the Facebook group, and we had Alex added a thing to it. So that's a lot of
you too can add a thing to an outline.
To potential outlines.
Yeah, you too can direct our content.
Yeah, a lot of benefits, and just being in the Facebook group, I think, is a big thing. So thank you very much, guys, for listening, and let us know your thoughts on the discussion. Oh, upcoming podcasts. Justin has been sick. That's why we didn't have cover the first episode of Samurai Jack or have feedback yet, but pending Justin feeling better, they will be doing the first 2 episodes of Samurai Jack together, and then still a feedback for Room for Ruby. Is that what that episode's called? Yes. Why was it called that? Okay, but I
don't know. There wasn't any rooms. They were outside the whole time.
Is Rose's room? No, but yeah, it's still those are the next 2 podcasts pending. So look out for that. Thank you guys very much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.